Shalom, family. So as we approach that starting point, tipping point of the final week, we see multiple countries having new elections, new leaders being put into place for this final stretch, old leadership being removed, things being changed around, civil wars brewing in countries we never thought they would brew in, absolute chaos, breakdowns of society, everything as the world readies itself to prepare for and accept a new world order without borders, and one leader that can bring everyone together and lead them out of the madness and confusion into peace and security and peace and stability. It's all in the Bible. Revelation, Daniel, there's lots of places. You can go and look and you can see all these things that are taking place in the world around you today happening right now. One more example of this is Venezuela. Venezuela is on the brink of civil war, and they won't be the only one. The tinderbox election has seen autocrat Maduro threaten a bloodbath if he loses. Now it's interesting, more and more leaders tend to do this. If I lose, there will be chaos. If I lose, there will be blood. If I lose, everything will collapse. The Venezuelan opposition claimed the victory with their presidential candidate Gonzalez receiving 70% of the vote by their own tabulation. Maduro also accused without evidence that foreign enemies were trying to hack the voting system of the South American country. Also sounds familiar, right? Neighbor Colombia called for a total count of an independent audit of votes. Chilean President Gabriel Boric said the results are hard to believe. They will not recognize any result that is not verifiable. Costa Rican President Rodrigo Chavez rejected the results outright and said it was fraud. Guatemalan President Bernardo Arevalo said they had many doubts about the results. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken said the results were not accurate while on a visit to Japan. He said, "We have serious concerns that the result announced does not reflect the will or the votes of the Venezuelan people." China, Cuba, Honduras, and Bolivia have backed the autocrat and sent Maduro their congratulations. Vladimir Putin has congratulated his pals, saying, "Remember, you're always a welcome guest on Russian soil." A whopping 8 million Venezuelans have fled the country and the dire living conditions under Maduro's rule. So Maduro says 51.2% of the vote is his, and that's what everyone's contesting. Whereas the opposition says they got 70%. And now there's chaos. Maduro is not willing to concede, and he's saying he's the guy that won. And so civil war is brewing and chaos. And as you saw, multiple neighboring countries are voicing their concern regarding this because it will affect their borders. Ultimately, more and more people are going to flee Venezuela for a better life somewhere else, i.e. by the neighbors, or even better, through the US borders. So again, one more example of how countries are collapsing. Their political power is weakened. They're shown as not being able to control the situation correctly or supply their people's needs. What they might need is someone who knows better, someone who can provide a solution, someone who can show stability and safety and security and seem like the amazing leader that they've always wanted and dreamed about, that has their best interests at heart. Do you see how everything is stacking up in preparation for the Antichrist to step onto the stage once we're gone? You are closer than you think, and you are definitely closer than you were before this video. Shalom.